Welcome to another class on data analysis with Python. Okay, today we are going to be looking at dictionary. We have looked at list data types and we have seen how list works, how to look through a list, how to slice, how to index, how to access information in a list. Then we are going to look at dictionary today, how to use a dictionary. Now, like a list, a dictionary is a mutable collection of many values. But unlike index for list, index for dictionary can use many different data types, not just integers. These dictionary index are called keys, and a key with associated value is called a key pair value. Basically, what we are trying to say is that a dictionary is a data type that has a key and a value. So for every value, there is a key. So let us see how we can create a dictionary. Now, let's say I want to create a dictionary that contains everything about me. Okay. Now, what I do, you start with the name of your dictionary. So let me call this dictionary about me. So you can see about me, then you use your equal to sign, then you use your curly brackets. Anytime you are creating a dictionary, you use curly brackets to create a dictionary. You use you use square brackets to create a dictionary. So you press on enter. Now what you can do is you start with your key. So it's always key first. Now the first key is my name. So I want my name to hold a value. So after you press your parented your quotation marks, then you put in your name. Of course, you need a string. So a string containing the quotation mark. Then you put your colon. Then the name. My name is Gabriel. Okay. Then followed by a comma. It's very important to put a comma so that you don't have an error. Then the next thing about me is I want to tell you about my age. So my age, I'm 18. So comma. So 18 is an integer, so you don't need to put quotation mark on it because it's an integer data type unless you want to use it as a string. That is when you put a quotation mark. Okay, put inside a quote. Then I would like to tell you about my hobby. Okay, I'd like to tell you about my hobby. So I love coding. Alright, so this is a basic dictionary. So dictionary can contain a lot of data. In fact, when you advance, there's something we call the JSON file. There are files that when you download them, they come in form of JSON. JSON is basically dictionary. So it comes from a dictionary. You have a dictionary in a dictionary in a dictionary in a dictionary. So it contains dictionary. Especially when you start working with APIs, game application programming interface. When you start working with that, you see a lot of dictionary. So but now we just start with this simple ones. So these are to create dictionary. Now let us print out our dictionary. So print about me. So let's run this code. As you can see, so this is how to create a dictionary. It's as simple as that. That's how to create a dictionary. Very simple and very easy. Then the next thing we will look at is how can we access a dictionary. You can access any value in a dictionary using its key. You can access a value. Now if you check this in the about me dictionary, you notice we have the name. The name is the key. Okay, and Gabriel is the string, age is the key, and the value that that age store is 18. Hobby is the key, the value that the hobby is storing is coding. Do you understand? So now let's say I want to access any of this. So what I can do is first of all to call the name of that dictionary first, then that's about me, that's the name of the dictionary, then use a square bracket. If you're accessing data, don't forget to always use your square bracket. So I'm calling the dictionary. So I want to access, let's say I want to access the name. So after I've written my bracket, my square bracket, the next thing I will do is to use the key of that particular value. So I want Gabriel, so I'm going to use the key, so name, and let's print it out. Okay, you can see, let's see what we are going to have. So you see, let me comment out this one. Let's run the code again. You can see Gabriel. Then let's say I want to do that for all that data. So about me, then age. I want to know the value for that age is storing, and I also want to know the value that my hobby is storing, the hobby. So I want to know the value storing. Then you can see now, this is how to access a value in a dictionary. Then note, dictionary does not have index like list data types. You know what we mean by index? You know, in dictionary, in list, there's something we call indexing. That is, while you're trying to access value, okay, you use numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3. You access an item in a list, but in dictionary, we don't have something like that. Okay, so what we do is we use key to access a value in dictionary. Unlike list, now let us compare dictionary and list together. Unlike list, items in dictionary are unordered. Okay, the first items in a list name spam would be spam 0, but there is no first items in a dictionary. Why the order of an item matters for determining whether two lists are the same. You can enter the key value pairs of a dictionary in any order. Basically, what they are trying to say is, look at this line of code. Let us create a list. So we'll call this one list 1, or let's just call it spam. And this spam, this is what it's going to do. It's a list and it's going to save, let's say, animals, pets, and it's going to be a dog. Then you can also use rabbit. So rabbit is often is often to use as pet. Then we'll create another one. So let's call this one spam1 again. And here now this time around we are going to change the order. So dogs, then we have cat, and we have rabbit, and we are going to compare this list. So we are going to print, so spam equal to spam1. I want to see if they are equal to each other, so let's print it out. You can see that we have false. Why? Because lists are ordered. They are ordered data type. Okay, but dictionary is not ordered. So you can see now immediately I change the order, even though they contain the same elements. Spam contains cat, dog, and rabbit, and spam1 also contains dog, cat, and rabbit. But it's just the difference is that it is not arranged. Okay, it is not arranged as the first one, so Python will not treat it as the same. It will treat it as different data type. It will treat it as different list. Okay, so that's why it's telling that it's false. But let us try the same thing for a dictionary. So let's say this is name, or let's just say something. Let's just say and we create a dictionary, and this dictionary is going to hold, let's say, name. So for the name, it's going to hold something I call cats. Okay, then another thing, it can hold let's just say age, for example, and old age, and let's just say 2. Okay, let's create another dictionary, and let's call this one bacon, and this should hold something like also, let's start with age first. Okay, let's start with it, and this should hold let's say 2 also, and comma, and the next one should be name, and it should hold let's say cat. Let's run this code. Now let's see, let's print if is equal to bacon. So we are going to comment out this particular one for the list, and let's run this code. You can see now that we have true. Okay, we have true. Okay, we have true. You can see we have true. Okay, but unlike list, we have false. So what does that tell you? It's tell you that the order in the dictionary doesn't matter. What matter is the key. Okay, how you can access it through the key. So the key matters in order for you to get the value. But in list, the order matters. So that is that. The other thing you might want to know about a list is what I call the error that you might also encounter when you are dealing with the list. Now let's look at this code again. So I want to copy this code. Okay, and I want to comment out this one. Now let's say we have a dictionary about me. Most of the times, anytime you're working with a dictionary, and most of the errors you can have is called the key error message. But for a list, you always have index error. So what is key error message? It's very simple. Let's say you are trying to access a value that does not have a key in the dictionary. Of course, you have a key error message. Now, let me try to access something here about me in the about me dictionary now. Let's say I want to access the places that I've traveled to. Places traveled to, which is not in the dictionary. So, but I just want to access that key. So now, by the time I click on print now, so let me print it out. You see what will happen. Can you see key error? So this key error is telling me that place traveled. There's nothing like that. Okay, there's nothing like that. Do you understand? So these are often the error you see. Now, what you can do is, in order for you to avoid this type of error, so what you can do is, let's say you want to, okay, so that's just it. Now, let us see how we can, add to our, so let's see how we can add to, if you have a dictionary already and you want to add to the dictionary. So what you can do is, let me call it, so how to add a, or let me say add to update a dictionary. So how to update a dictionary. So what I can do is, now since I've created a dictionary which is called about me, and I want to add something, let's say please traveled to the place I've visited. Okay, so I can just simply call the name of the dictionary, that is about, don't forget, you call the name of the dictionary about me, then use your square bracket, and the key, that particular key that you want to store a value. So I want a key called place traveled, and what I'm putting there, I'm putting um I've been to different places. So let me say I've been to Akure, I've been to Akure, I've been to I've been to Abuja. Okay, I've been to Abuja. Okay, now you can see now. So if you see, this is how to update your dictionary.